Batgirl number 22, the second last issue from Hope Larson, and Caillou Jung on the art for this one. Strange Loop Part 1. I think the title gave away what this was going to be, because all through the issue I was like, okay, when's it going to come back round and we're going to realise...
Interestingly, I kind of skimmed over the title.
I just knew the title from solicits and stuff.
I don't remember those far back. Unless it's like a big one, like Flash War,
Yeah.
Like
for whatever reason,
jokes and riddles.
For whatever reason, I remembered that her last story was going to be Strange Loop, and she's not breaking in, but she's bursting into this home where this asshole husband is trying to take his kid, and he's got his wife and child at gunpoint, and I actually the sick part of me kind of loved the line where. The mom's like, hey, you're going to shoot me in front of your child? He's like, okay, I'm rich enough, I can pay for the therapy. Like, that's a darkly funny line, but
it was. I'm rich as F, I can afford to pay for it.
Yeah, but Batgirl comes in, tries to put a stop to this, but he shoots her with whatever this gun is, this fancy tech gun, and she gets paralysed for a little bit, but she gets back up. She sort of de-escalates the situation. Cops show up. She's got a headache, and the issue kind of goes through her. She runs into Kai from the first arc of Larson's run from when she was in Asia, and she runs into another friend from Asia, the one who was the fighter, and it's all this weird stuff, and it's and she's feeling kind of out of it, and the entire time I was like, okay, this is all not real, this is all in her head, or it's all looping around, or something.
See, I was really glad when he got to that reveal, because I was like, this is for a start, it was really weird to me the way the cops reacted, because I was like, aren't they not friends with Batgirl right now? Didn't we just have that whole thing where she was creeping around with Gordon because the cops were kind of antagonistic?
Yeah, that all adds up.
I was like, that was weird. And then I was like, okay, Kai, I was like, okay, I know this is the last arc. So I was like, okay, I see you swinging it back around. So I was fine with that. And then we got to another one from Asia. I'm like, okay, now this is feeling too coincidental. Yeah.
And to be fair, Batgirl points out, this is weird. This is the second person from my travels that I've encountered now in the last day. But no, it turns out it's all in her head. She's still lying on the floor paralysed. The time's basically at a standstill while she's having all these thoughts in her head. Because she actually goes into her...
hey, she got to sort this out.
Yeah, she goes into her meditation, inside her head. And it's inside her head, it's hey, this is you lying on the floor still. You have to break out of this, you're going to die. So, yeah, so she's going to have to break out of her own prison next issue. It wouldn't surprise me that if next issue we encounter more stuff from the run in her head.
It's an easy way to do a greatest hits almost, isn't it?
Yeah, to wrap it up and be the end of the run. Yeah, it absolutely is. This is not my favourite issue of Batgirl by any means. I think it was solid enough, but definitely, we've had higher highs recently.
Yeah. I thought it was better after I got to the end and, was like, oh, that's what's going on, because it was playing really weirdly for me, reading it straight.
Because I think this is probably on par with the start of the run, and I think that's a testament to how much better the run's been over, as it went along. Summer of Lies, those one-shot issues.
I think the start of the run is stronger than this, but I think the start of the run, one, it gets away with a little bit more because it's just an introduction, right? And then two, I think it was really elevated by the art.
Yeah.
So I think the start of the run stands out a little bit stronger for me.
But no, it's a fine issue. I'm looking forward to the conclusion. I'm sad to see Larson go, but we'll make the most of our last issue with her next month.
At least I think it's worth noting we were kind of not really sure if she was going, a couple of months ago, and then it was like only this solicits. We were like, okay, she is gone, and it felt a bit sudden with the way we heard about it.
Yeah.
But reading this issue, it feels clear that she went into this knowing it was the end. It wasn't like, they just went, oh, you're done now.
Sure, absolutely.
Because this feels like, okay, this is calling back. This is the end of a run.
Yeah, no. I wish it could have went on a bit longer, but it's been such a good ride with basically ever since we got to back to Burnside. I think it really started to pop, especially when we got to the Nightwing stuff, and I really enjoyed that Cold Snap 2-parter. As much as I was disappointed of the lack of actual Cold Snap.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's still 20 plus issues as a run. It's not bad.
Oh, it's not bad.
Like what, 4 or 5 trades come the end?
Yeah.
Depending on how they split them up.
It's interesting to me though that this run is basically it's one issue longer than the Stephanie Brown run that I love by Brian Q. Miller. Every time I like a Batgirl run, it seems to end about 24 issues.
Yeah, it does.
That's bizarre. But hey, but that's, I mean, it is still going to keep going with new creatives on it. Obviously, there's a
Try again next time.
so there's a fill-in issue for 24, and then 25 is the anniversary sort of issue. It's got a few stories, but the start of the next arc with the new writers. So, but no, solid. And art's good. Like, as much as it may not be Albuquerque, it's
Yeah, it's. I think Albuquerque and then Wild Goose came in and redefined the series post that, and I don't think anyone else has lived up to Wild Goose personally.
They've definitely been keeping the style that he set up, though.
Yeah. But I don't think any of them have done it quite as well.
But hey,
but it's still been pretty solid at the very worst.